Hello and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Greta Hill and I'm really happy to be here with you. Thanks for joining me for this series on meditating with the 8 phases of the moon. So the intention of the series is to help you really understand and connect with the mystery of the moon and to learn how to best harness the magic and the energy of each different phase to support you on your journey of self-discovery and transformation. Today, we're going to learn about the 7th phase. It's called the last quarter moon, and this moon marks the midpoint of the waning cycle. So whenever you look up at the sky and you see the moon and you only see the bottom half of it, this is known as the last quarter, and it occurs about a week after a full moon. But before we begin our meditation together, I would just love to know if any of you have really been noticing the connection between the moon phases and your energy and your emotions. So let me know in the chat any connections that you're feeling. I always notice during the waning time of the moon that I feel a lot more drawn to rest and just to be more reflective, more introspective. It's kind of a quieter time. So the last quarter moon appears half lit by sunshine and then half immersed in its own shadow. And so this phase encourages us to create balance by really inviting us to journey deeply within to heal our own shadows, to release burdens and to release grudges that we may have been carrying, and to practice a radical acceptance of ourselves. So the idea of a shadow self was popularized by Carl Jung, and it refers to any part of ourselves that we have cast aside or rejected. And these are the parts of ourselves that we don't really like so much. It's like the parts you don't want anybody else to find out about or to know about. Some of our qualities that we've deemed as unsavory or unlovable or unlikable. And Carl Jung said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So to truly be integrated and whole, we have to identify and really work with and heal our shadow selves. And we all have shadow. And so meditation and mindfulness really can help us to discover what it is that we've buried inside, what we've pushed aside, and then we can start to notice when we're being consumed by our shadow. This waning moon time is the perfect opportunity to notice our shadows and then to make the unconscious conscious. This is going to connect us over time to our truest self. But before we start our meditation, let's see what you shared inside of the chat. Full moons make me crazy. I'm a Cancer. Oh, that's funny. Cancer is actually governed by the moon, so it's very possible you feel a lot of energy at that time. Been feeling more tired lately. So if you're watching this in live time, and it's interesting to just notice like where the moon is and how it's affecting you when you're tired. Is the moon waning or not? And then somebody's saying, I haven't noticed a connection. And that's possible as well. But I encourage us to keep tuning in, just noticing, because we might start to make a lot of connections. So let's get settled together. And as we get settled in today, we're going to use a balancing breathing practice and then a meditation on 3 primary energy centers to help us just unlock energy and identify and start to heal some of the shadows. And if any questions come up for you at all during this time, please ask in the chat box, and then I'll have the opportunity to answer after our meditation together. So let's get our seat set up. If you'd like to sit on the floor cross-legged, it's nice to elevate your hips up onto a couple of folded blankets or a pillow. I'm up on a meditation cushion. And then you can turn your thighs in and move the flesh back a little bit so that you can get right up on your sitting bones. And we draw the shoulders back slightly. And if you feel more comfortable sitting in a chair, that's perfectly fine. You could even meditate lying down as long as you're able to really stay present and stay awake. Before we sort of begin the practice, let's just do a little bit of pulsation through the spine to release any tension that might be present and to connect more fully with the flow of the breath. So with your inhalation, you can gently arch your spine and draw your shoulders back. And as you exhale, just pulse and round a little bit. Just a few times like this. Inhaling to extend the spine, and exhale as you round and flex the spine. Let's do that 3 more times, really consciously, just releasing anything that's been accumulating physically in your body. This will help us to settle in for a deeper meditation together. Let's do a couple of circles with the torso to the left. The left is considered more the lunar direction. Just unraveling, unwinding again any threads of tension. And then a couple of circles to the right side, more of the solar spin, solar direction. You can come back, situate yourself right in the center, front, back, right, left. Bring your shoulders back. Even move the sides of your neck back gently. And then close your eyes to the degree of your own comfort. Start to notice your body, the way your body feels. Notice the flow of your breath. And really allow every exhalation to allow you to just deeply rest and relax within your own self. Our meditation today will help us to free up blocked energy, places of stuckness or stagnancy, things that have been buried or hidden, blocked. The breath is one of the ways, the primary ways that we create this release and just enter into a deeper sense of self, deeper sense of integration, and deep relaxation in who we are. And allow your belly to stay soft. And we'll do a balancing breath together. It's called Nadi Shodhana. It literally means nerve cleansing, but it's more commonly known as alternate nostril breathing. This practice will bring a balance to the sun, to the moon, to the active, to the reflective, to the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. You can bring your index and middle finger together, your peace fingers right up to lightly touch the third eye, eyebrow center. We'll use the thumb to close the right nostril and the ring finger to close the left nostril when it's time. Start by taking a nice full breath in through both nostrils and exhale all of the air completely out. With your thumb, gently close the right side and breathe in through your left nostril. And with your ring finger, close the left and exhale out the right side. Inhale through the right nostril. And gently close at the top and exhale through the left. Inhale left. Close and exhale right. Inhale right side. Close and exhale through the left. A couple more rounds in your own rhythm, changing the nostril after each inhalation. As you breathe side to side, creating this balance like the half moon, the last quarter moon, between that which is active and that which is reflective, and between light and shadow. A couple more rounds. And even as you breathe through your nose, allow the nostrils to remain passive. Stay in your own rhythm without any rush. And the next time that you exhale through your left nostril, you can release your hands to your lap. and breathe naturally. And if you feel that you need more grounding and calming, then bring your palms down into your lap. You can bring your first finger and thumb together if you choose. If you need more open, elevating energy, then turn the palms of your hands up. Allow your belly to be soft. Notice the natural flow of your breath. Notice how good it feels to simply breathe and be breathed. We'll move into this meditation on 3 primary energy centers. Keep your spine upright but not rigid. Make contact with your breath and your body. And as we make this contact, we start to circulate energy, our creative energy. We make deep contact and release threads of tension and stress. Guide your awareness into your heart center, right behind your sternum. This area known as the heart chakra, one of the primary energy centers. Move your breath into your heart. As you breathe in and out from this area, you can visualize your breath full of light-filled particles of healing and grace. And as we start to move energy around the heart center, we start to feel any emotional energy that's been blocked, pushed aside. And stay open and present to all that arises, and keep meeting it with your breath. Keep offering the breath to the heart area, swirling awareness, energy, light-filled particles of grace. The heart is connected with some of our shadow feelings of unworthiness, a false sense of separation, a false sense of lack. Any of our shadows around an inability to truly love ourselves and to love others. So we breathe into this area, relaxed, present, spacious to all that arises. We must feel in order to heal. So allow yourself to stay fully open and feel whatever arises in your own heart space. We meet ourselves, our light and our shadow, with loving presence awareness, and acceptance. And take another full and conscious breath right around your heart center. And feeling your own vulnerability, tenderness, the sweetness at the essence of your heart. Notice the relaxation in your body as you breathe with what is. Begin to move your attention down to the next energy center that we'll focus on in the low belly pelvic region. Approximately 2 fingers widths beneath your belly button. And let your belly stay soft and relaxed as you move your attention down and breathe into this low belly pelvic region. Notice as you inhale a subtle pulsation through your tailbone as the tail moves gently back. Notice on your exhale how, without even trying, the tailbone gently draws down and slightly under. And stay with your awareness in your low belly pelvic area without trying to make anything happen. Just simply notice the pulsation that occurs around the tailbone with every inhale and exhale. We bring our awareness, our loving attention and acceptance to this pelvic region, swirling the breath with particles of light field healing and grace. And the pelvic area is connected to some of our shadows around our physical body, around our stability in life. Feelings sometimes of shame around our bodies or our sensuality. So we offer loving presence, healing presence, breath and attention down into the low belly, pelvic region. Stay aware and watchful of all that arises, not casting anything aside. All is welcome here. Take another full breath, a present breath, down and round your pelvis, low belly. And then begin to move your breath up your spine, up the back of your spine, all the way up until your awareness arrives in your third eye center. And if it's helpful, you can even take your fingers and lightly touch your eyebrow center, third eye, bringing your attention from the pelvis up the back of your spine, all the way up and into the center of your head. And as we place our attention on this third energy center, we keep offering our presence, offering our breath. And as we breathe, the head center, and this is connected with some of our shadow qualities of comparison and envy, arrogance, ego identification. And there's no shame in anything that might be present. We just simply notice it, breathe with it, loving presence and acceptance. And visualize the breath swirling in this area, bringing these light-filled particles, acceptance and healing, deep grace to your head, to your third eye. And stay deeply relaxed in your body. Now as we create a circuitry of energy from the heart to the pelvis, up the back of the spine and into the center of the head. Bringing awareness, bringing alignment and inner alignment to these primary places. Healing anything that's been shoved down and into the shadow. Bringing everything into the light of our consciousness. Return your awareness to your heart center. Take a full breath here, and if you wish, inwardly affirm, I love and accept myself as I am. And then move your attention once again down into your low belly, pelvic area. Inwardly state, I love and accept myself as I am. And take your attention up the back of your spine, all the way up, moving your breath once again to your head, to your third eye area. Inwardly say, I love and accept myself as I am. And just feel the connection inside, the presence, the flow of healing, creative energy through these energy centers. And take a nice deep breath. You can gently exhale through your mouth, just releasing any remaining threads of tension. Give a little wiggle to your fingers and a little wiggle to your toes, coming back to your physical body. And then as you're ready, we'll slowly begin to open the eyes and come back to your surroundings and to the space that you're in. And as we transition back to the space, just take a few moments to reflect on this experience. What was it like for you? If any questions came up for you during this practice, feel free to ask them in the chat box now. And so we did this meditation to just bring awareness to these three energy centers, and there are other energy centers in the body as well. And we want to just start to open up and feel everything that's present. We create shadow by pushing away, blocking, ignoring, running away from, rejecting different experiences in our lives. And so one of the ways to just start to identify shadow qualities is to notice like where you get really triggered or overly defensive about things. When you have like just bursts of anger, out of proportion anger, sometimes an inferiority complex as well. These are just little signs of where we can do some more work and bring the shadow into the light. So for the growth work this week, spend some time in quiet meditation and really notice with loving acceptance any shadow qualities that might be appearing in your daily life. You can journal about them and journal where is your shadow actually inviting you to go into deeper healing work. All right, so I think we have a couple minutes for some questions. Let's just see what's being asked. I love when you said we must feel in order to heal. Oh, yeah, wonderful. That's the thing. The shadow happens because we don't feel everything out of total normal human kind of self-protective reasons. Things get pushed down. So we have to feel it in order to bring it out of the shadow and to heal it. How do I know if I am recognizing all of my shadows? Goodness. Well, I don't know an exact answer to that question, but we all have shadows, and there are things that happen, usually developed like during different things that happen in our early childhood, and then they just become part of our personality. So there are a lot of ways. Meditation is a beautiful way to recognize. If you really don't know what your shadows are, a good way to find out is to ask people you're close to. Notice like what does your family complain about you? Or what do like the people you live with or your loved one, what does your partner say about you? Like when they're having it like not at your best. That will actually point our awareness towards our shadow. And it can be really hard to hear, but notice the defensiveness. That's usually a sign that the shadow is being activated. Can you explain more about the waning moon? The waning moon is the whole cycle from the full moon for approximately 2 weeks, all the way until right at the time of the dark moon, just before the new moon comes. And it's when the moonlight is waning or reducing. It's getting smaller and smaller from the full moon all the way until the new moon. Okay, last question here is how are the heart, or maybe it's not the last one, let me see. How are the heart, pelvis, and head associated with the shadows we focused on in this meditation? Yeah, that's a really good question. And it has to do, it's probably a bigger conversation, but it has to do a lot with the energy system called the chakra system and the different sort of spiritual and psychological centers in the energy body and how, we're developed in early childhood and just kind of where things get stored. But the pelvis, the heart, and the head are 3 of multiple centers. But if you can circulate energy between these 3, it kind of brings the whole energy body online and helps us to heal. Here's another question coming in. How often should I practice positive affirmation to eliminate shadows? It's a really good question. And the affirmation is wonderful, but it needs to come after the shadows have been truly felt and dealt with. So we can't just apply a big dose of positivity on top of the shadow without like really working with the shadow, or else it becomes a little bit of what's called like a bypass, a spiritual bypass. And so we want to feel it, work with it, journal, meditate, be in conversation. Sometimes, working with therapists or with professionals is helpful. And then we bring in the affirmations afterwards, just to remind ourselves that even with the shadow, we are still worthy. We are still lovable. We are still whole. And so thank you so much for this conversation, for this meditation, and thank you for sharing this sacred time together. Right, please continue to explore and deepen your meditation practice with us. Check out our daily live meditations at round.glass or on the app. And I really hope to see you next week when we'll learn about the next phase of the moon. So thank you very much and happy moon gazing.